All right, I think that it's it. Okay, so welcome again, Isaac. I'm very glad to see you here, and thank you for coming. First of all, a few words about your background. What was your profession before you've decided to change into tech, and why you have decided this?
Well, you know, I'll say before I get into Careerist or before I got my first tech job, because what Careerist did was actually got me back into tech. Because I had a tech job working at web.com about 6 years ago before I did the Careerist program, and so I was having a hard time getting back into it. And so the reason I actually went to Careerist was because I figured, okay, I know that I have this on my resume, but I figured if I have that, I also went to a tech school and I have this, it'll be even stronger, which it was. So that was kind of why I went to the program, was to look more credible on my resume because I already had a tech sales job.
And what was your profession before you become the tech professional?
Yeah, so sales, I got into sales pretty early on. In college, I got introduced to door-to-door sales. So when I was 23 years old at my university, well, yeah, at my university, I went to a summer program in California, and they taught us how to sell books door to door. And my first summer, I did like $8,000, and then my second summer, I did $10,000. But I did the second summer in the South, and that's in 2 months. And so my university saw that I was pretty good at that, and so they hired me to run the program at the university to hire students to train them to pick the territory. And so I did that in college, and so that kind of got me knowledgeable about sales and training and leadership and a whole lot of experience at a young age. And then after I didn't finish university, so I can't say that I got a degree. But I went on to do like other sales jobs for the Chattanooga Times Free Press. I led one of their sales teams for Red Man Marketing. Then I went on to sell Cutco. I sold vegan cheese over the counter. Um, it was like if I could try to sell it, I'd sell it. And so that was how I stumbled into eventually. My friend was working at a company named Yodel, and then it was in Charlotte. So I moved back to Charlotte, worked at Yodel, which got bought by Web.com. And so that was kind of how I got into tech sales. It was kind of climbing a ladder of sales companies or I just wanted to sell a good product. I feel like if you have a good product, it's easy to sell.
Yeah, sure. And you have also have to believe in it and believe in its value to be able to sell good.
It's
Yeah.
impossible to sell something that doesn't work. It's just
Yeah,
for me, I can't lie. I can't feel good about lying to someone. So if I don't believe it works, I'm not selling that.
I see. It's interesting. And just speaking about that, if you see the product, so probably it's very difficult to understand whether you like the product or not from the very beginning. Do you have any specific methods when you are trying to learn more and try to fall in love with the product? Do you have any of them?
So I've been very fortunate in that most of the companies and places I've worked, they understand how important it is to educate their salespeople on their product. Like I said, I worked at Cutco. Cutco is one of the best American knife companies, if not the best American knife company, because of their salespeople. They have people for generations, young people that fall into the Craigslist trap, and but their product is such a good product. It's a lifetime value with a knife, and I can still go on and on about the product. But even their garden equipment, that's actually where I got some of my sales was people already had Cutco, so I was like, well, did you know they made garden tools? They're like, really? I was like, yeah, lifetime value. They're like, okay, give me them. It was easy. They already knew the product was good. So, web.com, they did the same thing as well, where they sat us through, it was like 2 weeks yeah, I think it was 2 weeks of paid training that we had to sit through. Um, of just indoctrination about SEO and PPC and how it integrates with Facebook and all this stuff. So they really believed in teaching us about that. So for me, now that I'm not in that corporate space right now, I after going through careers, I still am doing, if you want to say, sales engineering or solution engineering. It's called author advising in the or and product develop. Well, product development is not sales engineering, but the author advising that I do rolls into sales engineering, where I'm speaking to authors who want to publish a book and guiding them through the products that we have and how the process of publishing a book works. So I have to do a lot of educating, a lot of explaining about different things, and so it still kind of falls into the category of connecting two bridges together, but it's not tech sales. Like, I'm using Zoom. I'm not software. I'm selling publishing. So it's a
I
different.
see.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. I think that we have to speak more about this because very often when I talk to sales people and especially tech sales representatives, they always speak about like technical skills and all the technical stuff they have. But you are doing something quite different. So, what is your everyday routine? Please tell me more.
Yeah. So it's interesting because my role is, like I said, it's titled author advisor and product development manager, right? So I do business development in a sense, like in the morning, I'll do my, if you want to call it self-sourcing or looking at people, looking for contact that I want to speak to. So I'll, like today, for instance, I was looking at lifestyle centers, different people who do health retreats or 10-day, 12-day, 20-day, because I have a magazine that I'm in charge of bringing advertisers to. So I'm looking for these companies to call, and I actually purchased Seamless AI today to help me to find phone numbers and emails at these companies of the right marketing and people that I want to bring them into my magazine that I'm trying to get more advertising for. So that's kind of what I do in the morning, and then during the day there'll be appointments that come in, and I'm not yet doing the. I'm still ramping up. I'm about 60 days. So actually, but I would say because I paid my third month rent. I moved here to so just paid my third month rent. So right, not quite 90 days yet, but I listen in on the calls, and I'm actually able to speak with some of them now because I'm actually setting some of those calls. So there's authors who've gone through the process but didn't publish with us. So I'm actually able to go through the list of past authors and communicate with them and let them know, like, find out first why they didn't publish with us, whether it was the price that was the reason or if there was another reason, and then find a solution to say, well, actually, you can still use our service because now that you've self-published your book, you've actually done the hard work. The hard work is editing the book and getting it laid out and all these things. Now that you've done those things, you can actually use our distribution channel because people publish with us, not just because we can edit their books and all those things, but because we can get it to Amazon, Target, Books a Million, all the libraries. So it's valuable to use a publisher like us. So it's such an interesting form of sale. It's not that I'm selling technology, but I'm selling their dreams because what they want is to have their book published out to the world. So it's creating value in what we do and how we can help them achieve their goal and showing how their fears and like finding out their fears and those things like that and bringing it to ease. So what
Wow.
you guys Ryan, I don't know if Ryan will see this, but Ryan is the coolest teacher ever. Like, I love his classes. It's all about creating value and learning how to share that value, especially if you can share it through story. It just helps emotions to be brought out so much more. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's very cool. That's very cool. And I also like that you love this profession and this like sphere so much that you understand its value and you understand that you're helping people to show their work to the outside world. It's so amazing. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
we for like professors at universities, doctors, uh, teachers, or just regular people who have a dream. Like we actually just spoke to this lady named Natalie Rostokian. And I'm not sure if I got her name out or not, but she wants to publish a book with us. And she came from a Hollywood background, and she's now she now believes in Jesus and is following after him and wants to write books about him. And so she's coming to us because we are a Christian publisher. And so yeah, so that's why we get to meet really interesting people from all sorts of different backgrounds and all sorts of different walks of life. And her story is so crazy. So every day it's just it's a different experience. And we are using multiple technologies. Like, I mean, if you consider, we are using like Outlook, we're using Zoom, we don't use Calendly, but we use one called You Can Book Me for our scheduling system. And right now, that's one of the things that we're actually doing is because now that there's two author advisors there, we're having to kind of bump up our tech stack and figure out how to get the scheduling to work correctly and stuff. But so there is still technical things that we have to do to make sure this works well. But we're not selling technology, although through the process of publishing, there is a lot of technology involved when it comes to getting the books out, doing the art design and the covers, and then actually printing the books and getting them distributed worldwide.
yeah, sure. Well, it's very interesting. Also, well, returning to the time when you decided to join Careerist for your studies, you were probably choosing between different other kind of boot camps and other training programs. Could you please specify why you have chosen Careerist for that time?
So I'll tell you the honest truth because I remember this day, and I remember my friend, the one that I spoke with on the phone that I joined the careers program with, and it was between course careers and careers. I had seen Cyrus Harbin, right? Like everyone else, everyone sees Cyrus, and so I was like, okay, course careers is $500. I know I can afford that right now, but yours was a lot more. But I thought to myself, why would they feel it's appropriate to charge that much more for the same thing, so to speak? How much more valuable is this than that? And if I want to get a job that's going to pay really well, I want to look like I invested in myself as well. And so, because I figured the companies would know about you guys, and a part of the me joining, a huge part of me joining was the software that you guys offer to help with the job application, the JAS, and um, and then the LinkedIn optimization, and yeah. So there's a lot of things that I realized. Okay, um, the weight behind the price, the value behind the price, also made me want to show up every day too, right? But yeah, so that was what led me to go with careerist was I just felt like okay, even though it's quite a bit more, they have to be offering something that that makes sense. So you did.
Oh, good, good, glad to hear that. And speaking about the process of studies, you have definitely passed through different stages, like working with mentors, with career coaches. Could you please share your experiences with career coaches of careers?
Yeah. So I don't know if I can name drop, but Francisco I don't remember his last name. But
Calderon,
Calderon. I thought it was
Calderon, yeah, yeah.
Francisco. Shout out to Francisco. He is the best. He's got the coolest accent I've. But he was his schedule was open. Like literally, when I wanted to meet, he would meet if his time was available. Like he didn't say, "Hey, you're meeting with me too much," or "You're not," He never turned me away. So that was really useful and helpful. In the time that we met together, I remember I would only do 30-minute meetings because I figured he was so busy. He's like, you can do hour-long meetings, right? And I was like, oh, running out of time. Um, but yeah, so he would help me. He helped me to my face, not Facebook, my LinkedIn is still, well, since I still practice the principles he taught me as I update my LinkedIn now, because now and I have like it's amazing what happened overnight after I would implement the things that he would send. Because when I started your guys' program, I was sending, I asked in my first few weeks if it's okay to send out applications. And they said it's not a problem. This is way before I had access to JAS. And so I was sending out and bugging people. And then after Francisco helped me to optimize my LinkedIn, that's when they started coming after me. And I didn't have to really go out so much anymore. And I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I was doing so many interviews. It was awesome. But so I really appreciated the intimate time that I could have with Francisco, that he made himself available. But that's also a part in the value, like I said, which I mean I can't speak for any other course because I didn't go through another career program. I've gone through other courses, but not one to break into tech sales.
Yeah, I see. Very good. And speaking about internship, which you had after you finished your studies, what was it? What was you doing, and how was it overall?
Yeah, I mean it was fine. My experience is uh probably a short and brief experience, so it's not the where you're gonna get the most highlights from. But it was totally fine. I have nothing negative to say about it. And actually, for me, that was what I'll say about the internship is it was a strong point in me wanting to go through the program as well because I felt like, sorry, my phone to I felt like having the experience, the career experience, not just saying that I went through the boot camp, but I also worked there afterwards as an intern. It added so much more value and made my LinkedIn look so much more valuable as I was job hunting. So that to me was what was a really valuable aspect that you were willing to do that for the students. So I'll say that that was definitely something that I liked about the Careerist program.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. And speaking about the way you were searching your job, like how many months did it require? How was your job application process overall, and how many applications did you send?
So my job experience is probably more unique than most others that you're gonna find that go through your.
Okay.
Every job I've ever gotten in my life has been a weird situation, if you would, because I've actually gotten two jobs since I went through your program. Um, One of them, I started out as if you would like a founding account executive at a startup. Um, Through the LinkedIn network, I was able to meet a recruiter, and a recruiter, um, this essentially this guy paid like I don't know $1,200 or something to find someone that can help him with his thing, and he found me, and that was how I got the job. So that was how I got my first one was through a recruiter that got paid really handsomely to get me hired. Found it out later through different grievances. But anyway, so then the one I have now, I got this one while I was working at that one, but not working at that one, but working because I'm still with him. I've moved up in a sense from the founding role to more leading the team.
Hmm.
Um, but because I've set up all the SOPs and everything that needs to be done for any new rep to come in and to be a fresh rep and become a professional. Like literally made all the video content, all the trainings, all the scripts, everything like that. Because I took it all from web.com, the Jordan Belfort straight line method of sales, and pretty much implemented it here. But yeah, so while I was doing that, I was doing another contract for my own personal thing because I do like marketing and advertising on the side for small businesses. And I was doing it for my friend's farm, and the owner of the land of the farm is the brother of the one who owns the company that I work for here. And so when
Mm.
they saw the quality of work that I was doing for that small farm, it's a little farm, but they saw what I was doing, they were like, "You need to work for my brother," and da da da. So that was how I got linked together with him. And when I literally went to interview 1 hour, let's say, and then a month later, he said, "Okay, I'll think about it, and then I'll pray about it." And then a month later, he says, "Okay, we feel good. Come." And so I came.
No, networking rules. This is just everything about networking and charisma.
Charisma definitely helps. I'll
Yeah.
definitely but dude, networking is such an important part. Like it's about who you know, and actually, what's funny because my friend Alexander, the one who got me into the Seamless today, he was telling me he bought Seamless just to find out the HR people at different tech companies, so he could email them to get there to send them his resumes personally to their personal. I was like, wow, you're a savage. There's doing it. I actually really did like the JAS, and I liked that. I'll say this: I feel like there was a kink in it or something that you guys were working on because I wasn't able to switch. It was able to do remote, and I was really only looking for remote anyway, so it wasn't a problem for me. But when I wanted to switch it to the specific location, there was a glitch in the system at the time. That is one thing I remember about it. But apart from that, I loved it because then I could just autofill, auto resume. As I went through LinkedIn, you could do so many applications a day, whether you were in the JAS or whether you were on LinkedIn or wherever, went to their personal website or however. Um, the, the, the extension, the Chrome extension was very useful as well.
Glad to hear that. Also, you said that you have been working for over 3 months, right? In
So
this field.
yeah, this one is 90 days in
Hmm.
teach the
Okay, soon
publishing.
it will be a small anniversary, 100 days soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just thinking about what your like opinion or what your thoughts about this profession was before you became the tech sales professional, and after you are 100 days on this profession, did it change? So, do you have other opinion about this profession?
Yeah, I mean, it's it's different than any other sales job that I've ever tried to do before because like I'll tell you a story. One of the customers that my boss had to deal with was this lady who wanted to publish her book and he didn't think that the book would sell very well. And so she was adamant that no, I want to publish my book and I want 1,000 copies. And he's like, 1,000 copies is going to cost quite a bit of money. And the woman was just very adamant, and he was just really trying to say, well, let's just start with 100. She ended up forcing him to give her 5,000
Wow.
because she's like, well, if you think it's not, I want 5,000. So sales that we're doing, it's a different type of emotional sale. And I mean, we make our money through selling the books, right? It's not through the publishing aspect. That's we make a little bit, but the majority of our money is made through selling the book through the bookstores.
Sure.
So since being in this field, it's really changed the way that I've looked in sales in general, just because it's just like this is all about solutions and explaining, and there's a lot of emotions. Like a lot of people want to leave a legacy or send a message, or they have this goal, and it's about how painting the picture of how we can help them achieve that. So it's changed, and it's well, even going through careerist really helped me with value based selling because before my knowledge or my skill set was like, through the Jordan Belfort method, a straight line, a lot of pressure, close, OTF, you want to close in the first call, right? Versus with sales engineering, there's usually discovery, right? Then it's like, meet the person. It's like, oh yeah, he's really not the right person, so let's do the demo again for the right person this time. And there's like a process that you go through. And then there's the follow up. Okay, we did the demo. We sent you the proposal. How do you like it? You have more? Oh, more questions. Okay, let's do another demo. So it's a it's a different world. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So this is really nice. It's taking it's the valuable thing for me there. It's able to take a lot of my past experience and apply it to what I'm doing now. Um, so yeah,
Yeah,
I think
and it's yeah, sure. Also, the story you've told, it's also a story about trust. So if I trust you as much as not like not only short, not only 100 books, but 5,000 books, and I can trust it, and this is also a question of trust. So between you as a seller and me as a client, there must be trust, definitely.
yeah,
Yeah,
if we're gonna print your
yeah.
book, it is a beautiful book. It should be a beautiful book.
Yeah, sure. Also, like speaking about this profession, if you can resume this profession in one word, so a sales representative or a sales specialist is a person who what or who's doing what,
In one word,
or small phrase, just just shortly.
yeah, has solutions to problems.
Hmm. Yeah, very good, very good. Yeah, very good. And if you can address to those people who are still struggling whether to become sales specialists or not, or whether to switch their career from not tech to tech, what would you advise them?
Mm. Well, it's sorry, I have plugged my phone in to
It's
charge. It
okay.
was low. Um, it's it's a different world. Learning a new skill is never easy, but if you can have someone help you do it, it's so much easier. So if you want to switch careers, find someone that is in that business of helping people to do that. So, there's the amount of money that is available when you go into the space of cyber. Because when you're in a business, when you have to take cash over the hand, you can only get as much cash as someone can give you physically, one at a time. But when you're doing cyber, you can schedule with people all over on a different time zones, different time periods, different countries, even depending on how things are going. So it just opens your ability to make money way bigger because the internet is just it's a web. It's connected together. So that's the mindset you have to consider is if you're in brick and mortar, if you're in retail, and you understand, you see the foot traffic. Foot traffic and highway traffic is doesn't compare to web traffic. It's not the same game. So it's not as scary as you think. And just make sure you get behind a credible company. If other people are making a lot of money doing it, you can do it too.
I see. And thinking about your changes, which happens after you have joined the technology world, the technology sales. Did you have any? I mean, I understand that it's only 3 months, but maybe something has changed.
Yeah, I mean, I can say my um my emotional maybe my psyche or because it's how do I put this? You I'm learning for myself that as much effort as I put into something is as much as I'll get out of it as well. And that is being put in front of my face in a real way. And so that's been a really good thing is to I don't say like see yourself in the mirror or something, but just to be have that check with reality and be able to grow and progress. Like see, with what I'm able to do, I can chart back, to the first month I was there and see what I've done. Look at the second month and see what I've done and what I've progressed. And because even one of the things that I did, I didn't mention to you, is that we also go to trade shows. So since I've been here, I've already gone to a trade show where at trade shows I'm now going around. I literally made 6 different brochures. I did all the copywriting, all the graphics for all of these, for these brochures, and I was handing them out to people as I was walking. But not just handing them out, having conversations with the people because I didn't want to just litter, right? I wanted people who I could get their business card with. So when I came back, I had like a stack of business cards, and I've been going through those, cycling those leads, and I've already had some of those sign up for stuff. So those are just things are that are involved with what I do that I've done that I have experience in other sense, but not in selling. I've done trade shows for other stuff before, but not like this. So yeah, my job is it's different. I'm gonna be your weirdest. I'm gonna be your weirdest career strategy ever.
Definitely. Yes. Okay, then, well, and about your future plans, how are you going to move forward in this profession? And do you have any specific plans or everything goes as it goes?
So one of the reasons I actually took the job, and this is probably, oh man, you're gonna publicize this all over the place. I'll never get upset that I say this. He's there's just a possibility that as he retires, I may step into the position that he's in. So it's more than just me being an employee there. I have I have from my hiring higher aspirations than being an employee. So I'll just leave it at that. That's probably safe enough to say. So if everything works well, I think I'll be very, very well taken care
Very good. Yeah. So, there are a lot of recruiters who are asking the question, how do you see yourself in 5 years? I don't like this kind of question because it looks very odd. But
of.
anyway, I think that, well, if I ask you, how do you see yourself in 5 years? What would you say? Happy and wealthy? What
Yeah,
would it be?
I would say married and wealthy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Great.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, well, I don't, and honestly, it doesn't need to be wealthy. That's not something that drives me per se. I want to be secure. I want to not feel like I can't have something, or I can't give someone. So that's something that I desire more so than just being wealthy is having the ability to take care of my needs, comfortable. So and married. So that's what I'll say. Comfortable and
Cool. Have you started feeling yourself more secured after you switched to tech?
for sure.
Cool. That's so amazing to hear, actually. Very amazing to hear. Well, I thank you very much, Zach. It was such a pleasure, and I think that I never had so much love during interviews. It was really very fantastic and very cool. Thank you very much. And I wish you all the best, and I wish you to be more secured, and I want you to be happy and married. So everything that is required for a happy life. So all the best.
Yes, well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and I will stop recording now. That was so cool. Thank you.